Great to have you back. We're going to go into this final series with big statements here, and we're going to be held to account. So it's called Hold Me to This, so I'll go first. Port Adelaide don't make a grand final, the monkey on their finals back is going to turn into a gorilla. They have finished first, second and third in 3 of the last 4 years and haven't made a grand final. They've played in 6 finals, they've only won 2 of them. They've lost 4 by an average margin of 37 points. Port Adelaide's finals record is poor, and they need to do something about it quickly.
They need to look no further than that team early in the 2000s that eventually beat us Bucks.
Is it obvious calls or big calls?
Whatever you want.
Okay, I'm going to go big. So Marcus Bontempelli was the All-Australian captain. Things happen in threes. I'm going to predict that he is going to win the Brownlow and then the North.
Oh, wow.
So if there's anyone that can do it, it's him because he's got the AA Guernsey. But I think he's been exceptional and he'll have a great final series.
They're going to the grand final and the Western Bulldogs.
Like it. They're going to have to win this Friday night.
I don't agree because it's going to be an all-Sydney grand final. It's going to be the Battle of the Bridge at the MCG.
Can that happen?
It can happen, absolutely. Just like 2003 Bucks. Remember that?
Right, that's it. We're over here. Told you not to mention that.
I've lost all comms like you lost auto cue. On Thursday, I can't hear anyone.
We're heading into a final series, so I'm going to have the last crack, boys. Okay, I'm calling it game changer. So the first half of the season, we were very frustrated with the ruling around the tackling and how long we were obviously taking in the tackle and how many players were coming in with the density of it. Then the game changed. So AFL brought in the interpretation. It's going to be quicker. We're going to obviously pay holding the ball quicker. Stoppages sped up. So I'm just going to play this vision. So this is some vision from the first half of the year. This was timing the stoppages. So this is actually in round 7. So right in the guts of the dispute, so to speak. But look at all the numbers. Look at all the time to get around and set up as a stoppage. 10 seconds. Okay, so then we'll play it out. So you've got time to build your framework. Look on the right hand of screen here because it's the Sydney of walking back to positions. This is how long they've got. So the time is still going. Sydney, here we go. 13 seconds to set up at a stoppage. So all the time in the world. When the rule changed on the weekend, we're just going to flick over to the next bit of vision. So this is how quick on average it is now. It's almost 6 seconds. It's half what it was. So there's no time to set up. Bang, up it goes. Have a look at the density around the ball. There's no density around that ball whatsoever. So all the numbers now have got speed in play. So this is welcome to teams that play fast. Sydney like to structure up. I just showed you that. They've got no time to do that. And you can see the numbers around the ball there. There is plenty of time and space. 5 seconds once that tackle and that whistle was blown. So I'm looking at the evolution of it. I don't think we've ever seen a game change in a season like it has. It's a rule that's just put its stamp on it, and you can see this. So the first half of the season, we thought it was a one-horse race. So Sydney, number 1, and then when that rule got brought in, 10th on the ladder in terms of, from round 12 onwards to round 24. Look at Essendon, we mentioned they were 10 and 5. That rule changed. It blew a lot of teams apart in terms of what it was. No time to set up, no time to defend. Can you handle a manic ball?
So less structure.
Less
coaching influence.
Less coaching influence, less time. So players are out there unless they're well drilled, but it welcomed the quick teams. Brisbane, the natural talent. Brisbane were 13th. No man's land. That rule comes in. It's free flowing.
Love it.
They put Zorko off half back. We can launch now. Away we go. So Brisbane launch themselves into second position from rounds 12 to 24. And guess who bobs up on number 1?
Oh, there's a long way to get to your Hawks.
Yeah, okay.
A long way around.
It was a big build-up. But the shift. We've never seen a rule change so dramatically in the middle of a year and throw a big curveball into the season. Now we're looking, instead of 2 contenders, we're looking at 8 contenders coming into a final series. Pretty exciting.
Awesome.
Nice
I like
work,
that.
Dicko.
Gee whiz, you've been busy.
Yeah, well, it took me all week.
In the lab. You've been in the lab.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, well, I was a lab rat this week.
Get out of there.
Hutto doesn't give us that.
All right, let's talk about the grand final because, Joey, do you want to start it?
No,
Kingy always starts.
Kingy always starts.
And you pick it apart and then you show me yours.
Okay.
I'm going with Sydney. I just love what John Longmire's done with this group. I think they've gathered, a bit like Collingwood last year. And I'm a fan of the Giants as a football club. I think that they're all in together. They're like a country footy club playing AFL footy, a bit like the Kangas were back in the old days. I like them.
Take this one to the bank, Dicko. I've done my predictor. It's all sorted, guys. Sydney and Port will win the first week of finals. They'll play in home prelims. I don't think they'll get beaten. So I think it'll be the grand final and it'll be a rematch when Port just beat them by 112 points. Not too long ago, but I think Sydney will take the chocolates,
Turn
and
it
I think
around.
Sydney win the flag.
Well, this is thanks to work day, and I've done plenty of work this week. Look at this. I've got the
Oh,
doggies as premiers.
doggies.
Yeah, they're the ones that have just
Didn't have
shot
the
from
courage.
nowhere. You didn't have the courage.
Didn't have the courage.
And I've got Port. Kenny's done enough, but just not quite enough. Let's have a look at the finals fixture. I mentioned, it's Thursday night. It's going to kick it off. That's going to be an absolute beauty. We know that for sure. That is Port Adelaide and Geelong, and then the Sydney belter up there.
You would think that the halves of the draw would stay together, so Dogs and Hawthorn would probably be Friday night.
Friday night, you reckon
Friday
they'd make it Friday night
yeah,
at the G?
keep them together.
Oh, yes.
Saturday, the other pairings.
And definitely Port Geelong Thursday, as I mentioned.
Yeah, and then probably Saturday night at the Gabba, Brisbane Carlton prelim rematch. So, yeah, it's going to be a cracking weekend, can't wait.
Yeah, speaking of that, Vossi, nice little...
He's still
Tear us apart. Thanks, Boki.
still a bit of teal in him.
How good is that? He
That's
spent so
very
much time at Port Adelaide and, all war, but we go smiles tonight.
I don't think you're getting out of that light either. It's going to cost you a red or two, I reckon.
It might.